Alright. What's up, everybody? Hello and welcome to a cast of myself. That's right, we have myself, Pig, in the bottom right, and I had to show you guys this game because I was on ladder the other day. I've been practicing, trying to get my Protoss up to 6,000 MMR, and so in the evenings, I've been hopping on the Korean ladder, which I haven't really done in a long time. And I hopped on the other night and I played this game, and it was one of the dumbest games I have ever played in my entire life. And I was absolutely shocked by my opponent's strategy. We've got absolute Zuno in the top left going for, I think that's a 14 pool, a 13 or 14 pool into a gas. You guys just have to wait and see what this build is. So this absolutely just floored me. I was like, what am I up against? So here I am. I'm doing a normal build, chrono boosting probes. I've got my gateway, and I'm going to hang out and just block the expansion. I'm like, you know what? I really want to practice denying the expansion, force them to take the third. And at this point, I'm going, hey, I haven't seen a drone. Better go check what's going on. Now, at this point, you come in, you see a spawning pool finishing and a gas mining. Oh gosh, it's a 13-12. Now, I didn't click on the gas, guys. I didn't realize that he hasn't actually mined all that much gas. To me, I see what looks like he's got lava stacked up. He's building 6 Zerglings. This isn't a rush. So I'm like, okay, panic mode. We've got to do our reaction. We've got to get the pylon up. We're going to get second gateway, a cyber core. We're going to chrono out 2 zealots, then 2 adepts. And only then can we think about taking the Nexus. And even then, I probably can't think about taking the Nexus because if he's taking gas, he could make Ling Speed and Banelings and even bust me or make a couple Ravagers. So I actually probably have to go second gas and Stargate before expand just to defend. What I don't realize is my opponent is only making 8 Zerglings just as a light pressure and is actually just going to do something very tricky. Now I come in here and I'm like, hey, I don't see Ling Speed started. And I don't see a Roach Warren or a Baneling Nest. And I was so confused because I was like, maybe he's just about to start Ling Speed a bit late, but it's still got to be some sort of cheeky all-in. Like, otherwise, what else would you be doing on one base? But as soon as he kills my probe, Zuno takes a lair, starts sieging my gateway here, taking some damage there. And I'm like, oh, okay. A little bit. I'm taking a lot of damage on that gateway here. A little slow to get my second Zealot out. We're making 2 Adepts now as well. So we're trying to defend. And a second gas goes down for my opponent. Now remember, I've got that second gas up because I'm thinking, hey, if he's got Ling Speed or Ravagers, like, dude, he could be going all in. I was real worried here. Gets a gateway snipe, very nicely done by my opponent, but I have enough Zealots to defend. I have an Adept out as well. And I'm like, oh, okay, I better re-wall, better be safe, better get another gateway up. And my opponent right now is simply droning up. Now, this is the sort of insanity. If you guys play the Asian server, the Korean server, you do encounter weird plays a bit more. I've been recently delving back into Age of Empires, for instance, and we always talk about in any strategy game community I'm in, it's always the same story, which is the players from Taiwan, especially, are absolutely just bananas. Vietnam and Taiwan have the absolute cream of the crop, ridiculous strategies you'll ever find, and they all play on this server. Not only that, you've got Koreans who are the best aggressive players in every single competitive video game in the world. They just are the ones they care about. They are just more aggressive than everyone else and better at the mechanics, the clicking of the buttons at the right timing. At this point, I come in, I'm like, what is this? A nydus infestation Spinecrawler Swarm host, and there is a slow Zergling elevator in my main, and in my mind. That's why I said that. Freudian slip, because I was like, what is even happening right now? I do not understand. My Adept is like, I'm about to get nydus Swarm hosted, I guess, on one base. I can't get in there to punish them with Adepts. I'm trying to make an Oracle right now. I'm losing a bunch of probes to this bloody Zergling drop. I still haven't even started a Nexus. This is an absolute disaster. The Spinecrawler kills my Adept. And I'm like, what even do I do? Because I'm realizing this nydus is going to hit me in about 30 seconds. And what can I possibly do to defend it? I have 1 Zealot? A Zealot and Adept. So I have 2 Zealots and Adept and Oracle. I'm trying to make a Twilight. I figured Charge will help me out here. And we're trying to find where that first nydus is going down. Now I see this Overlord and I'm like, oh, okay, there it is. And I'm like, uh-oh. So I turn on the Oracle here, I think, and I'm going to try and take it out. But already, 1 Queen does okay versus an Oracle. An Oracle can beat 1 Queen. Let's see, does Zuno save the Queen? Pop it back in the nydus? Yeah, just pops it back in the nydus. And then my Oracle's going to run out of energy. Luckily, though, we baited the first Locust to at least not go in my main. The Queen's popping in and out. The cheeky bugger. And I still am on 1 base right now. So what's so incredible about this, by the way, for those who don't know, is 1 base Zerg tech builds haven't really existed in a serious way pretty much ever because you really normally need more production. But what's beautiful about this is we've got Locusts, which obviously the Swarm host just gets value by throwing those Locusts. They're free units and trying to get damage. queens are one of the most efficient defensive units, but you combine them with the nydus, and they can pop to the other side and defend the air units. And you've just got this awesome combo. Now, what's amazing here, my opponent, the absolute Chad gamer that they are, they've also now gone +1 range. It's at this point, I was like, does this player know who I am and they're just trying to troll me? Because I really felt that sense, which I talk about this a lot in like the Florencio files and stuff, where I'm like, you know, sometimes it's not about doing the best play, it's about doing the play that's so out of the ordinary that your opponent starts worrying about getting embarrassed, right? They're like, oh, you're not trying to beat me, you're trying to embarrass me. And I started to sense that at this point. I was like, oh, my ego started to feel a little bit threatened as my opponent is now building a bloody spore crawler behind me natural expansion, which still has only just started. Now, this was a late at night game. This wasn't my best, most smooth, perfect StarCraft game, but this player was still, I can't believe it, doing this build at almost 5k MMR, just below, like they're literally just outside of GM on Korea. Getting in GM on Korea, it's a bit lower MMR than it is on the other servers, but still incredibly competitive because the MMR doesn't scale perfectly between them. Now, at this point, I do shut this nydus down. My zealots are doing all right, and most importantly, I've almost got charge. Now, I know that the secret to dealing with swarm hosts is that swarm hosts have a very long cooldown between their attacks. So if I can if I can either attack and let make the swarm host be used defensively, then I basically can allow myself to expand and get ahead behind it, right? And I'm cleaning up these overlords denying the vision. Unfortunately, I forgot that there's creep here, and I should have been using my oracle to clear this creep because that's allowing my opponent to get more locusts and queens up on my side of the map. So I'm going to try and counterattack with zealots here to pin my opponent at home. And notice my units keep bugging out, so I have to A-move them onto the ramp to make sure they go up there. Because of the ramp being blocked, it's screwing with the pathing. Now the Void Ray gets pushed back. I lose a pylon in the main base right here. Zuno is forced to pop those swarm hosts out at home, and I'm going to take out the spine. So this is good for me. But even the queens themselves are very good defensive units. I've got to be careful to not throw these zealots away. So yeah, I'm doing some damage, but I don't really have enough zealots to straight up overwhelm. But I do get a swarm host there, which is not bad. I've got to keep these zealots alive. Just threatening with the zealots can keep him at home. But if he's able to just pop these back out on the nydus worm, then we're in trouble. So the oracle comes in the main at the same time. I'm like, okay, I'm up in economy. I'm doing some damage with my oracle. I already did a stasis trap before that, so you can see a bunch of his drones were frozen. The Void Ray pulls back. The problem for me is he's got 8 swarm hosts. I have 1 zealot, 1 Void Ray, 1 oracle. So I'm in a place that is fondly and regularly known as Dicktown. Yes, by the way, my main base died. So I'm now only mining from this base, and this one I'm trying to get up. And I figure this base in the back is a bit safer. It's going to be harder for him to get to. Now, I run in with a zealot. I managed to get a drone there, so that's something. Trying to, of course, avoid those queens if possible. The queen is just such a tanky, massive unit. It's really hard to deal with them. And you can see I'm trying to use the shield battery here as best I can, but that Stargate is going to disappear, as is this pylon. Luckily, the Nexus, I think, should survive here. Twilight Council, oh my god, leave my Twilight alone! Okay, so the Twilight survives for now, but not for too long. One thing you can do as well is if you run zealots underneath, when they launch locusts, you can try to get them to actually land the locusts on top of the zealots, and that way they get stuck on the low ground, right? So I can try to bait them in there, but this is just an absolute bloody disaster. Keep in mind, my opponent's just started expanding 8 minutes into the game. I am like really just scrambling to survive. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm very much just feeling down on myself because I'm like, I'm gonna lose to someone's troll strategy. The locusts are about to kill another Nexus in the main. I'm like, oh no, man, I should have canceled that, shouldn't I? So that Nexus is gonna disappear. My zealots come in and they do kill a nydus worm, but he's got another one on the high ground. Clever girl. Twilight Council goes down as well. Luckily, charges are already finished. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, soon to have 5 gateways making zealots, which at least will help. And I'm realizing, well, you know what? My opponent isn't expanding a lot. They're not very mobile. Maybe I can beat this just by building expansions in other places and just running around and doing more than them because their growth rate is going to be so slow. So we come in here with the zealots. We're going to try and kill a queen, but never want to stand and fight with the locusts because they have +1. Who gets +1 swarm hosts before building an expansion? But just generally, locusts have crazy damage. I'm trying to still keep him pinned at home, though. Zealots do good damage, but it's such a big, massive queens with transfuse. It's not great. But anytime I'm forcing him to throw locusts, pop out at home, that allows my zealots to kill the nydus here. Unfortunately, this creep is all still over here. Luckily, I have the oracle, but I'm not using revelation. I'm not thinking about it or remembering about that. And only on 2 mineral lines, I desperately need to get another Nexus up right now. Nydus Worm is there. It's 26 probes versus 28 drones, so my opponent is economically in the lead. I drop a Dark Shrine. when desperate, when in Dicktown, build yourself a Dark Shrine. That's essentially what I'm like, maybe? But this is bad. I can't throw Zealots away. At least this is stopping the queens from being at home. I do clear up another nydus worm there. So I'm doing a good job of limiting the swarm host's ability right now to throw locusts into my economy. And I do find this one as well. So we're going to split some zealots back there to try and defend this. And at this point, I'm kind of sinking into the comfort zone of the game. And I'm going, you know what? Let's stop fighting it, pig. Part of StarCraft's about surrendering to the stupidity. If your opponent's trolling the crap out of you, you can sit there going, oh no, they're trolling me. Or you can embrace the stupidity and go, you know what? This is a pretty dumb game, but let's play the dumb game. And at this point, I'm like, yeah, cleaning up the nydus on the front with the zealots. These zealots going after this hatchery, but I don't want to lose them. So look at that. I forced the locust to be used defensively, lose only 1 or 2 zealots, run away. And remember, they will expire after 18 seconds. And then there's another 22 seconds beyond that, I believe, before the locust can be thrown. Yeah, 43 seconds, so 25 seconds where they can't throw extra locusts. And that's the beauty of running in and running out, right? The locusts disappear, and I'm like, I'm back for seconds, bitch. He's still got transfuses. 1 locust wave does throw out, but we just click the spines, pull back, and I'm starting to finally feel like I'm getting some ground. I'm picking up these queens. I'm cleaning up these nydus worms, right? They're not able to pop out and transfuse straight away because these zealots are scaring them at home. And I'm realizing that if I could just do the in and out with my zealots, maybe I could do some stuff. I don't really have a follow-up plan, so I'm just chronoing probes. I've now taken my main. I'm taking this base as well. I'm like, maybe I can do something. Now, the downside of all this is if my opponent just literally pops a nydus here, I have nothing to stop it. They throw 1 wave of locusts into the heart of my production economy. I lose the game and, oh no, I just lost most of my zealots to the locusts. We run in the natural. Yes, we forced a locust wave defensively, but we just lost a lot of zealots there. Let's look at the units lost tab. I've lost almost double the resources of the Zerg player. The swarm hosts are being grossly efficient. This creep down here is still an absolute nightmare. I have an observer coming over now to help clean it up. But if this gets up, I'm in big trouble. And look, my opponent, Zuno, is now walling off the map. This is just disgusting. I'm like, dude, don't you dare wall this base off. I'm getting good surface area there. So I kill a queen, waste a lot of transfuse, kill a spine, and then quickly back off away. We managed to get rid of the nydus, which, of course, my opponent immediately throws back up. And these locusts are chasing down a few of my zealots. I'm up to 43 probes now, 12 minutes into the game. My opponent has a 3rd hatchery up in the back as well, and they're on 31 drones. So their economy still does not look very good, but we're cleaning up this creep finally. And if I can get him to use these swarm hosts just on these zealots, that's totally fine, right? So very cleverly, my opponent only throws some of them out at start. But we do force a few more to get thrown out, and then we just pull back. We're like, okay, you're still going to get a good offensive wave into my main, but at least I'm not losing too many, and then I can come back and clean this up when all this is done. So I'm like, okay, wait for these locusts to expire. I go back in a little bit too early here. Ooh. And then we can go in, take out these observers. Problem for me, another nydus worm in the main base, and my main once again is in trouble. Does he get it? Oh, there's only a few seconds left before they expire. 3, 2, 1. Oh my god, the Nexus survives on 90 hit points, but not for long because he can just pop out in the main anyway. The Oracle comes up here, turns on its laser beam. That's an angry Oracle, not an intelligent Oracle, just an angry one. But I've got DTs warping and there's no Overseer down here, so I at least can push this back. The DTs are hitting the swarm hosts, the Nexus goes down, and at this point I'm like, you know what, you killed the Nexus, but maybe it doesn't matter. I'm finally realizing that I can just expand away from this one angle my opponent's hitting all game. My opponent has 500 APM, by the way. Despite the feeling of how they're playing, it really feels like mechanically and tactically, they aren't playing anything close to optimally. You've also got to understand it's really awkward popping units in and out of nydus worms to attack and defend at the same time. So I'm like, I don't know if they're a good player or a terrible player. It's so hard to judge. I know they're creative and awesome either way. And I'm just like, I'll expand on the top and I'll go double forge and I'll build a warp prism and just hold the probe key down. And now Zuno finally rotating to this right side of the map and realizing, hey, there must be economy over there. I've got to deal with that. And the wall of tentacles is causing me a lot of trouble. You know, I come in here as a real 1980s man. I'm expecting, you know, really just old school levels of adult material. The wall of tentacles, it's a bit too much for my conservative tastes. Let's put it that way. The Zealot's unable to get through there. The swarm hosts are going to run in on this base. I'm warping in DTs to try and defend. There's an Overseer right there, though. I got to be careful. Probes are running away. Zuno doing some big damage. We will be able to kill that nydus worm, but he's already popped away. Thankfully, the Nexus survives, but this one is in trouble. Goes for a nice little battery overcharge. The probes decide to fight. Now, if you guys ever attack locusts with probes, That's the equivalent of picking up a chainsaw and then just trying to like chop your own leg off with it. Don't do it! Don't do it! It's a bad idea. It's a really, really bad idea. I'm also getting DT blink because once again, remember, the longer this game goes, the more I'm relaxing into the feeling of going, oh, we're playing stupid craft. This is not StarCraft. We're playing stupid craft. And you know what beats stupid? Doing stupid things yourself. I'm like, Mom, make teleport with me blinky blinks. Meanwhile, Zuno's like, this is the next logical expansion. Let's not even take the corner. Let's just take this one here, because why not? I'm warping mass zealots in the main to bypass the Hentacle wall. I'm like, screw going into that. Nydus in my back door, very painful. The Zealot Stalker is going to try to take that out. Hopefully I can distract him in the main. And even just remember, force him to use the Locusts and then pull back. Unfortunately, I can't save all the Zealots, but it is what it is. At least we forced that wave to be defensive. Clean up that Nydus Worm, cleaned up the Changeling. We're trying to warp more Zealots and Stalkers in the main. Anything to keep my opponent back. The Zealots are still thinking about hitting the front, but it's a lot of Spine Crawlers, man. Not a good engage there. I think we were trying to deny this base and just got aggroed in. That Nydus Worm goes down, though. I am managing to defend, and I'm on 73 probes! I still don't really have a plan of what my next step is, but thankfully my opponent is showing the flexibility of a geriatric tortoise right now. They're kind of like, I just keep making Nydus and Swarm Hosts. They're going for Hydras and Groove Spines right now, but I think the Groove Spines may be antithetical to the smooth brain of my opponent. They are going for Lurkers as well, which is going to be a bit of a better transition. Still only on 41 drones though, and with no way to get out and expand beyond the wall of Hentacles and Spore Crawlers in the main and the natural, I can just keep my opponent contained. I've just got to make sure I don't take too much damage on the economy. And this Pervy Overseer flying around the map, trying to get rid of a lot of stuff. Little Zealot drop does come into the main base as well. A lot more Zealots warping in. And now I spot these Hydras. And this is where I get worried, because Lurkers are pretty damn good, solid units. The Zealots are going to go in, try and fight. But man, the Hydras and the Locusts together are going to defend really well. Zealot DT runs in the natural, though. The wall of Hentacles goes down. I managed to catch my opponent out with a giant wave of Zealot DTs, and I'm like, yeah, take that, Mr. Hentacles. Looks like, though, he will end up defending here. All of those units do go down. I've got one Zealot in the back door, and most importantly, the Prism goes in the back door as well, and I say, the best defense is a good offense. I've already lost like 4 Nexi this game, 3 plus canceling 1 or 2. The Prism is going to fall, though, and that is unfortunate, but I do get a lot of these drones going down. 86 drones versus 30. Macro beats Micro D-Head. Zealots coming in, overwhelming the Queens on the front. At this point, I'm like, I think I'm winning, but unfortunately for me, I still only have 9 gateways, 1 robo. I've got plasma shields and +2 attack on the way as well on the upgrades, and the Zealots just setting up as sort of run-by squads, but my opponent still has 16 Swarm Hosts and 17 Hydras. I have no army. I have 9 Zealots and 6 DTs. I'm like, I guess I just do some stuff. The Hydras, thankfully the Overseers run past, so those DTs don't get spotted, and I'm like, I can't fight that army. But what I can do is run around that army and go, oi, hey, chase me. Chase me. That's what these Zealots are doing right now. They're like, your mom's fat. I banged your sister. Yeah. The Hydras are like, oi! How dare you say that? They're all trying to chase after. The Zealots are like, please keep following us. Please don't go kill my production, because I don't have an army right now. The DTs, where'd they go? They're hiding in the top of the map. The Zealots are still running around picking off lone Hydras, but the Locusts are starting to find my expansions. Now I'm going to take out this Nydus Worm here, and then maybe pick off a Swarm Host or 2, but the Locusts are good. Get out of there, Pig. You don't want to fight the Locusts, buddy. Oh, so many Zealots die so quickly. Meanwhile, my DTs are running into the Hydras. Oh, no. I thought the Hydras would be attacking me. The DTs get wrecked. This base is going to go down to the next Nydus Worm. The DTs do defend this one. Thankfully, no Overseers over there, but I'm sending more Zealots down that left side. We found this base, so we're going to clean that one up. We've got the top right as well. I've got probes idling and stacked up on the wrong bases all over the place. My Prism in the top right looks like it will be going down, not even realizing that one. My DT's chasing the Swarm Host, but they're going to have to bypass that and go elsewhere. Drones rallying to their death in the bottom left side of the map. Zuno right now has got an absolute chode of Swarm Hosts and Hydras there and is running through there. The DT's going to try and attack the Queens and the Spines, but even though the DTs have good damage, it's going to be a little tough. We go past, though. We blink past the Spore Crawlers, go into the natural. Oh, the Zealots are going to jump on the Swarm Host. Remember, make them throw the Locusts and then run away. The Chad maneuver, the old in and out. These Dark Templar and Zealots, they are well known for never paying child support. They get in and out. You don't even know their last name. He said his name was Roger Moore. It's like, yeah, that's his go-to. He just chooses the name of a random James Bond actor. He doesn't let you know the real name. That's the way these Zealots and DTs play. They are absolute douchebags. And, catching the Hydras out in the middle of the map as well. The Swarm Hosts are coming back right now. but he does still have burrow. I don't have any detection out here. Gonna jump on the hydras. That's not a good fight. Oh no. Oh no. Oh god, the hydra's still taking great fights. I'm still trading at 2-to-1 cost inefficiency right now, and Zuno still has Nidus Swarmers. If Zuno actually used control groups to just pop Nidus Worms up, like, I'd be so dead right now, right? But Zuno's basically just F2A moving around the map. And I think this confirms that Zuno has some of the most brilliant strategy I've ever seen, combined with just horrendous mechanics and tactics. I don't think there's any way that, that I win this game if I'm not, like, a bit more organized than Zuno is. Zuno's still killing bases, though. 90 probes coming in, and Zuno's still got a core of units. And the problem I'm having is that even though it's like, I should be able to win, I've still only got 11 gates and no other tech, no storm, no disruptors. I'm trying to break a wall with Lurker's spine behind it, which is about as good an idea as trying to, I don't know, all the analogies are not things I'm allowed to say on the internet. Putting things in places they don't belong. Dangerous places. Yeah. Don't go into the elephant graveyard, Simba. Let's make it nice and PG-13. We'll use Disney references for the rest of this cast. The Swarmos and the Hydras are there. The Locusts are going to get thrown out. Oh, Locusts coming out. Here we go. Hydras, Swarmos coming in. Okay. Zealots and Archons there. But uh-oh. This is 6 of my gateways. If I lose those 6 gateways, guys, I'm in trouble. And oh no, Zuno remembered that they have a Nidus Worm, which is a big problem for me. I am mining in the top of the map. Locusts coming in from all sides. My Zealot Archon's like, run around, counterattack. But once again, we have no detection. So these 2 Lurkers are an absolute nightmare. But at least I force him to pop into the Nidus and pop out to defend at home. Buys me a little bit of time. DTs clear up that Nidus Worm at least. But there's a Nidus inside my main base as well. At this point, keep in mind that you might be like, Pig, what are you doing? Why aren't you just doing A, B, or C? You have to remember, look at the map and think about the fact that I'm just re-expanding and running probes around. At no point have I had a moment to take a breath and think about what I'm doing on a logical level. The only thought process Pig is going through in the past as he plays this game is, I don't know what's happening. Ugh. It's like, imagine if you woke up in the middle of the night and realized you're on a roller coaster. I thought I was going to play a normal macro game. I thought I was going to play a normal game of StarCraft. My opponent has taken me on the one-base Swarmhost Nidus train of madness, and I am in the most frazzled state of mind I've ever been. Thankfully, I've got some good upgrades, and we catch the Swarmhost. We catch a whole bunch of the Swarmhosts in the middle of the map. There's only 9 of them left. So we get a big Zealot Archon DTs around. We've got also amazing upgrades. 3-2-1 upgrades versus just 2-1 upgrades. And I'm like, dude, I've got observers here. We can come in and kill those Lurkers. We can get a full base trade going. But opponent does find another base. And remember, they've knocked my production down. I'm only on 4 gateways. I'm still on 76 probes, but I've only got 4 gateways. The DTs blink on the Lurkers. Let's go. We're going to try and breach that ramp, but a lot of Hydras pop out there. And that Nidus Worm, once again, the saving grace of the opponent. The Swarmos down in the bottom left say, hey, babies. They chuck their babies like a bunch of weapons into my probe line. Those probes getting absolutely massacred right now. Thinking about coming in again, catching these Hydras in the open, but can't chase into the Lurker Swarmhost. Meanwhile, I'm expanding next to my opponent's main. I've completely lost me main base. I have no production. I'm rebuilding 2 gateways and a cyber core in the top of the map and floating a ton of money because I have no production anymore. Trying to clean up Nidus Worms all over the map. The opponent, Absolute Zuno, is going to keep throwing changelings out and getting ready to Swarmhost. And that's a big section of my production in the back. So these Swarmos still doing big damage. Luckily for me, there's only 9 of them. Oh, wait, no. There's 15. A bunch more just got built. Oh, no. Oh, no. So more Niduses on the front as well. Me Stalker walks right past it. What are you doing, Stalker? Go do your job, mate. Locust in the back door going to take out this base, this forge. The DT Shrine is also exposed. It's been a big part of what I've been able to do up to this point. And that goes down. And that Nexus is going to fall. Oh, no. We've got 3 Robos building in the top right now because I'm like, I should spend this money. I've looked at my bank and I've gone, oh, no. What am I doing, man? Zealots are going to try and clean up this Nidus in the main. I'm trying to expand everywhere. I'm like, look, the Swarmhost can only shoot so frequently. I'm just going to build more Nexi than they can possibly kill. This is the equivalent. This is the closest thing to Rocky Balboaing a Zerg. Where I'm like, I'm going to beat them with my chin. Adrian! I don't know, it's like literally I'm throwing my Nexus into their Locust and just friggin' losing them all and then going, why is this game so difficult? I'm building 3 Robos. I'm building like 12 pylons to get on supply block. I keep trying to lure these Locusts away and deny it, but I can't really do anything. Luckily for me, Zuno has mined out the main completely, the natural almost completely, and the backdoor base also getting very low on resources. So Zuno's income is not getting any better. There's no upgrades or tech, and I'm just like, hey, there's no locusts. So I blink forward, jump on top of the Hydras, the Zealots, the Hydras and the Swarmos, force the locusts, run away. The old in and out here. Once again, the Zealots and the DTs still are like, yeah, my name's Bob. And the locusts are like, oh, really? Do you want to get married? And they're like, yes, totally. This is my real name and address. And the locusts left hanging one more time. The Zealot DT immediately going back in to cheat on them with the Swarm hosts. And there is a Lurker morphing out there. That should go down. The DT's getting some damage, but at the same time, Archon gets instantly surrounded. We pull those units to the left, these units to the right. They're going to try and take out the Nydus Worm. No escape for you. No escape for you. Of course, they can just throw a new one down, but it is what it is. The Zealots are going to try and fight whatever they can, do some damage if possible. A new Nydus Worm pops up there. Hopefully we can take that one out. Behind this, I'm swapping into Colossus. I figure Colossus kill Locusts pretty quickly, and they kill Hydras. So if I make just a bunch of Colossus, we'll be all right. So the triple Robo rebuild up there. I'm also rebuilding gateways down here as well. So I'm on 3 gateways, about to be at 6 gateways, 3 Robos. This is what we call a real serious proper amount of production. And yeah, Immortals as well. Very good at killing Swarm hosts. Swarm hosts are armored units, so they do get 3 shot by these +3 Immortals. We get 2 rallying Swarm hosts. We do lose a bunch of Zealot DTs though. Got to get out of there. And I can't really rebuild those Zealots very quick, remember. I'm only able to build a few Zealots at a time. Rebuilding gateways, Twilight Council. I want to get that DT shrine back as I don't have that anymore. The advantage though is I've kept my opponent pinned here. I have that base. I have that base. I have this base. I'm rebuilding this base. My opponent for some reason has a burrowed drone here. And basically it's just constantly run in, force locusts, run away. Run in, force locusts, run away. And in this case, we're actually saying, oh, okay, you're going to go past and kill my Nexus. You know what? Fine. I could jump on top of you, but then I realize I don't have detection. The Lurker scares me back, which means this Nexus is in trouble. So I'm going to go and try and save it. The Changeling actually protecting the Locusts. Oh, well done, but the DTs blink on top. We barely saved that one. Try to get a battery for the next wave. We've got Disruptors coming in to deal with the Lurkers. Colossus as well. DT Shrine rebuilding. My opponent's like, all right, time to move out. The drone migration, the Lurkers, the Spores, the Spines, moving out to this 4th. There's also a Hive on the way as well, so they can actually get Hive Tech Lurker upgrades. The Zealots trade okay in that they kill these fresh Spores and Spines. Yes, they all go down, but that's an okay trade since I am a rich lad. The Locusts come in here. And check this out, guys. I'm like, oh, cool. Battery, heal the Nexus. Battery, heal the Nexus. Battery, heal the Nexus. Guys, did you catch that? Did you catch what killed the Nexus? Did you? Shh. Nobody saw that. Nobody saw that. That definitely wasn't friendly fire from my own units. It wasn't my Immortals and Colossus one-shotting the Nexus, which my opponent didn't even target with the Locusts. I tried to heal with the battery, and I may have killed my own Nexus. Like I said, I may have been a little bit frazzled in this game, guys. I may have been a little bit frazzled. I've never played a game like this in my life. And at this point, it was starting to dawn on me that, like, this was a 1 in a million game. Like, it's been so long since I've played a game like this. And I was like, you know what? I make so much fun of the people I cast in Gold League and Plat League for the dumb strategies they play and how bad they are at reacting to weird situations. I think I blew them all out of the water with how I reacted in this game. There's a mixture of a few smart things with so much incompetence and panic that I really feel like I've never felt closer to my community than right now in this game, you know? I felt like I felt like it was to be playing against the nonsensical builds in Silver League for once, you know? I was really down there in the trenches with y'all. DTs warp in, there's no detection up here. We can get some Swarm hosts. There's no detection, we get 1 Swarm host, we get 2 Swarm hosts. These are +3 DTs, guys. They do 65 damage, or 60 damage a hit, sorry. It's absolutely wild. A bunch of Swarmos go down. He is denying that base is Zuno. But look, I got a big Colossus Immortal Disruptor army. Observers setting up everywhere as well, so I have vision. And I've still got those 3 Robos going, building more Disruptors. I'm also starting a Stargate transition. Nydus Worm tries to come up with the Burrowed Drone. A clever little maneuver from my opponent, but they're down to just 6 Swarm hosts right now. Balls! We landed balls. We busted through a few of these Lurkers. There's still a few more in the back, though, so it's still a hard position to actually break out of. Swarm hosts here. I'm going to warp in Zealots immediately. If you pop those Swarm hosts out, I think we can defend this production, even if you pop out. Oh, I should have targeted it. Oh, only 1 Swarm host popped out. Could have probably popped out more there. 2 Locusts come in, but the Zealots handle that just fine. And it feels like finally here at the end of a 29-minute brawl, with the Zerg being twice as cost-efficient as I have, I may have finally built a position in myself that for myself in the game that I cannot possibly throw away. As far as I've tried, as hard as I've tried to bloody mess this up. And yes, I'm shooting disruptors at changelings on the right side of the map right now. I mean, this is just utter chaos. We've got Disruptor Colossus starting to rain forward. The Hydra's there, the Lurker's there, Hydras and Overseers coming on forward. The Disruptors as well trying to shoot out. The Nydus Worm has come up, but not being used. Zealots do run in for a run by. That's where the Swarm hosts are being pinned. And once again, the Zealots just avoiding those Locusts time and again. A DT will clean up the Nydus Worm in the bottom, and the Colossus Disruptor have decided it's time! And the reigning Protoss army of super upgraded Death and Destruction is going to say, look, a couple Lurkers ain't no match for this. Zuno's 500 APM, while basically having no macro war game. God tier strategy. Maybe a little bit slow on actually denying bases with the Nydus Worms, always attacking the same angle repeatedly. And yet I still was very close to throwing this game. Zuno throws the GG out like the absolute savage they are. And I kind of sat there and I realized, if this game went like this, yes, I made some misplays, but you know what? This might actually be a legitimate strategy. So if you guys enjoyed this game, make sure you check out the next ones where I am going to try out Absolute Zuno's one-base Swarm Host Nydus build and see if I can beat people in GM on the ladder with it. Because I have a feeling we could make this work. It's so stupid. I think even if I lose the games, I'm actually going to win on some level. We're gonna find a way to win. And I think I can actually optimize the build order a lot better than Zuno did. So stay tuned for that one. Thank you very much for watching, guys. And I hope you enjoyed my absolute descent into madness in this game.